Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Monday, 2nd September 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. More Venezuela election protests because of the likelihood that opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez could face arrest. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Venezuela's Prosecutor General has issued a final summons to opposition presidential candidate Edmundo Gonzalez to respond to allegations of forging public documents, association to commit conspiracy and computer crimes. Tariq Saab says Gonzalez must appear in court or face arrest. Al Jazeera's Latin American editor Lucia Newman reports from Santiago, Chile.
Edmundo Gonzalez, whose supporters believe he won last month's presidential elections by a landslide, is in hiding and has refused to obey the summons, arguing lack of guarantees of due process. President Nicolás Maduro has defied domestic and international pressure to release the voting tallies. Describing the situation as critical, the European Union's High Representative for Foreign Affairs invited Gonzalez to speak to EU foreign ministers via video link.
I said before the meeting that I believe that clearly Maduro cannot be recognized as a legitimate winner of this presidential election, but let's see what the ministers have to say.
An EU decision not to recognize Venezuela's president, who insists he won the July 28 elections, despite strong evidence to the contrary, must be unanimous. In Chile's capital, meanwhile, the head of the U.S. military Southern Command, General Laura Richardson, told a regional security gathering that global democracy is under threat.
And we don't have to look any further than Venezuela, where Nicolás Maduro continues to undermine the democratic will of the Venezuelan people, having already caused 7.5 million Venezuelans to flee, increasing irregular migration throughout South and Central America.
But General Richardson clarified that a political rather than a military solution is needed. As for the man who is fighting to be recognized as Venezuela's legitimate president-elect, it's unclear whether the Maduro government will go ahead with his arrest, risking further international pressure. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Santiago.
The initial group of an international UN-supported police mission has started its work in Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti. A team of 400 Kenyan officers has arrived in the Caribbean nation to combat the gang-related violence that has plagued the city for several years. Malik Fouda of CRT News has more.
Kenyan police sent to the Haitian capital Port-au-Prince have now launched joint security operations with the national police. Some 400 arrived in the Caribbean country 2 months ago as part of a contingent of international law enforcement aiming to restore order to the gang-ravaged country, a mission that has predictably proved dangerous.
We are making progress on the issue of insecurity, house by house, district by district. I'm here at the hospital today because 3 police officers and 2 civilians were injured in the process. They're receiving treatment and responding positively.
A total of 2,500 officers from 6 countries will be sent to Haiti in the months to come to serve as part of the UN and US-backed security intervention under Kenya's leadership. But the country's participation has been met with criticism. Kenyans believe their officers are best used to address their own domestic issues. a point Kenya's president was challenged on during a visit to Washington earlier this year.
Why are you committing to Haiti when we have a problem back home? Is it an irony that you are putting the fire in the faraway neighbor's home when our own home is on fire?
Even as we were deploying troops and policemen in our own country, in North Rift, to sort out the banditry problem, we still deployed 1,000 troops to DRC Congo, because that is our neighborhood. We have 5,000 troops in Somalia, because equally that is our responsibility. And Haiti should not be an exception.
Haiti has been the site of a vicious gang war since 2020. The UN says around 2,500 people were killed or injured in the first quarter of this year alone. So for many Haitians, these Kenyans represent the first real hope they've had in years. Malik Fuda, TRT World.
Minister of National Security of the Bahamas, Wayne Monroe, defends Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez's stance to not comment on the investigation into Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson. ZNS News provides some details.
The minister argued that the top cop remaining quiet protects the integrity of the investigation and the judicial process, noting that if the media is flooded with information, it could very well prejudice the case.
Who is concerned with seeing justice prevail must understand that there is a system, and there is no point giving somebody a get out of jail free card, call publicizing the matter in the press. So even the simplest lawyer, relying on Ferguson and others and a gang of cases, can say, yes, you may have all of this, but court, you can't find an impartial jury because all of this has been flooded in the media. It is a balance that must be struck, and it's a balance that I am fully aware of.
Last week, Commissioner Clayton Fernandez released a statement revealing that he will only update the public on the investigation periodically, informing them that the investigation is ongoing. Minister Monroe later yielding to the commissioner's position, maintaining that from his background, he can see why that would be in the best interest of the police force, and urged members of the public to remain patient.
He has said that if perchance people are concerned that an investigation isn't still going on, they will update that, yes, it is still going on. This desire for a blow-by-blow of information has deleterious effect on prosecutions. I repeat, I know what the effect is. Anytime you give that gift to a defense lawyer, they will thank you for it.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Outgoing Commissioner of Police of St. Lucia, Cruzita Descartes Pelios, has confirmed that a senior police officer is under investigation for allegations of sexual misconduct. Pelios vowed the probe would continue despite reported online attempts to impede it. She made the disclosure at a media conference at Chesterfield on Tuesday. Stanley Lucian of HTS News Force reports.
On the dawn of a departure from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, outgoing Commissioner Cruzita Descartes Pelios, in a rare press conference Wednesday, confirmed action is being taken against a very senior police officer on suspicion of sexual misconduct.
I've also initiated a formal investigation into reports made by individuals against the senior officer. And at this time, there is nothing more I'm able to say with regards to these matters, other than the necessary support is being afforded to all persons and that the investigations are progressing.
Commissioner Descartes says attempts to derail the investigations into the allegations through attacks on her and others, particularly on social media by anonymous actors, are destined to fail.
Since it is impossible to attack character and work ethics, anonymous posters try to make this personal. Let me assure you that this will not work.
The police commissioner was questioned on the timing of the latest developments. In her defense, she says the seriousness of the allegations demand a thorough and methodical approach.
It is important that you are careful how you deal with these allegations. As it relates to you asking why it's now, there is no set time. It depends on the procedure. Remember, last year, that was when it was brought to the fore. When I came back, I said right here that I'm going to look into it. But you cannot just jump into such investigation. You need to take time to make sure the process is properly done. And having returned here, I sat and I had meetings with my senior officers and had workshops with females and males in the organization to understand the seriousness of this allegation. I then started and looked into a sexual harassment policy to assure that persons will have the confidence that when allegations are made, they will be redressed for both parties.
The latest chapter in the investigations into allegations of misconduct against a senior police officer has reignited concerns that the old wounds of division that have long plagued the police force are being reopened. For the outgoing police commissioner, what's not to be tolerated by members of the public should not be tolerated from officers of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Stanley Lucian for the HS News Force.
In the meantime, there's no word yet on who the new police commissioner will be. With her contract having expired on Saturday, August 31st, Cruzita Descartes Pelios expressed confidence that the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, RLSPF, is in a stronger position thanks to her leadership than before. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World reports.
The commissioner declined comment when reporters asked her at a press conference on Wednesday if she would extend her contract if given the opportunity.
As it relates to your other question as to whether, if asked to stay on, I wish not to comment about this right now. And you asked me whether I would say, well, this organization is better with me. Of course, I would say I haven't had an impact.
Speaking on Radio 100's What Makes Me Mad program on Thursday, Prime Minister Philippe J. Pierre disclosed that discussions are taking place regarding her replacement.
It has been discussed, but again, certain things I can't say in the public, but this discuss was she blazed the trail for women. She was the first woman commissioner of police, and I had a confidence in her. You may not believe that, but Commissioner Descartes, I agreed to the appointment based on a CV, and let me tell you something, a little secret, I'd never seen her.
Prior to that.
Pelios has expressed gratitude to the Prime Minister for his support.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the Prime Minister, the Minister for National Security, who has supported us, continue to support us, and give us the necessary resources to execute our duties. Let me say that no time has the Honorable Prime Minister interfered in the operations of the organization.
The outgoing commissioner expressed confidence that she has fulfilled the mandate given to her a year ago.
Despite every attempt to undermine the facts presented today, I have worked to ensure the holistic well-being of the men and women of the organization to better serve you, the public. I've encouraged the men and women under my watch to provide a service professionally, with excellence, and with integrity. The numbers you have seen here today don't lie. The increases in crime overall and general increases in detection rates, that was my mandate, and history will prove that I've achieved it.
For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's a service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.